We're going to discuss our journey of having both children on the autism spectrum. So today's Zoom meeting will be an interactive one. So please feel free to engage. It's gonna be recorded, and the video will be archived in our website. So we ask you all to ask questions. If you have questions, don't hesitate. And without further ado, let's start. So I'll be starting with my personal experience of having a child on the autism spectrum. So as you all know, autism is a developmental disability that affects social interaction, communication, and behaviors, right? So I have 4 kids, as I said earlier. The one who has autism is my middle son. His name is Ethan. Ethan got diagnosed at the age of 3 years old. Now he's 11. So at the beginning, it was difficult to recognize the sign because I was the first one in my family dealing with autism. So I never heard about the term autism, and I was lost. I didn't know where to start, where to go, which therapy to seek for. All I have noticed is my son having trouble communicating. He having very, very bad tantrums. Ethan would cry for 30 minutes, 1 hour, and he was slapping himself, biting himself. Sometimes at the point he's going to bleed. It was very, very difficult, and we decided to seek for help. And then we discussed with his pediatricians, but the pediatrician was telling me that some kids will have some temper tantrum because of the age, terrible 2 or terrible 3. But I was telling her that in my son is really bad, and the problem is not just the tantrum, it's also communication, because Ethan was pointing a lot. He wouldn't, he was not able to say some word, even though he said some word in the past. When he was 18, almost 2 years old, he was saying few words like mama, dada, milk, bread, and then after 2 years and a half, no more. So this is something that also caught my attention, and I got it as a red sign, and then that's how I seek for help. And she told us that it's true that certain kids can do the same, even they develop fine. We can observe the same sign on them. And she was suggesting to wait a little bit and see what's next, and if the signs persist. So which I did, but after a few months, it got bad and worse and worse. So I decided to get an appointment with a neuropediatrician this time. It was a long list, so it wasn't easier to get it and through the process. The appointment that was given was 6 months from when I called them. So I was like, oh my God, it's 6 months. It's so far away. And what am I going to do? How am I going to help my child? So I was just pushing, calling every day and asking if somebody dropped, if I can get an earlier appointment, because it's been difficult at home. I really need help with my son. And I was begging them to come and help us to find us a quick, an earlier appointment. So I was lucky to have my appointment, pushing a little bit 3 months ahead. So we had to just wait 3 months instead of 6 months. Once we got to the 3 months. So we went, and the pediatrician recommended to come both of the parents along with Ethan. So what we did, we just went, all three of us. And over there, it was, it takes 1 hour to 1 hour and a half for the evaluation. At the end, the pediatrician just told us that Ethan was on the autism spectrum disorder. So I received that news as, as everything around me was shaking like it was an earthquake. That's how I can describe. I remember crying a lot and asking why. Is there anything I can do to change this situation? And the pediatrician was telling us that therapies, and he was suggesting to remove Ethan from daycare because he was in the daycare at that time. He just told us to find therapies, ABA therapies, which is applied behavior analysis therapies, and it's a therapy that focus on the behavior. He also recommended twice a week speech therapy and once a week occupational therapy. So we did, but again, it was difficult because there were long lists, waiting lists for speech therapy. It was almost 1 year. OT was 6 months. So it was pretty much frustrated because you see your son having a problem, but you can't help. You just at home observing him, not knowing what to do. So it was pretty much frustrating. And we finally got to call them and push again, push for and asking them if we can have earlier evaluation, which was possible. And then maybe one month to 2 months, they call me and they say, hey, we can have him evaluated today. I was so happy. I remember that day. I say, finally, he can start with therapies. And it was ABA therapy who called me first. So Ethan started with the ABA therapy, and things got improved. He was not talking, and that was the first time I heard him say, Mama, I want milk. I need a sandwich. So it was very, very, very happy experience, observing your child. Oh, he's capable of talking. Wait, great. We were so happy, my husband and I. And since then, Ethan has been progressing fine. So we thank God for that. So today we'll be sharing a lot of our experience. We're going to talk about raising awareness. As you all know, it's April, and April is a month dedicated for autism awareness. So I have with me this beautiful lady. Her name is Dr. Elise. So Dr. Elise, please, if you can introduce yourself to us. And I know that you have your beautiful girl, Idrea, who is on the spectrum as well. So please, if you can share your experience with us, and we go from there. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sandrine. Thank you for being so vulnerable and for sharing. These are not easy experiences, and it takes one to know what you may have gone through. So I'm truly honored. I'm humbled that to have this opportunity to share my story. So my name is Elise, and you guys can call me Elise. Only strangers get to call me doctor, okay? So you are a family, so you get to call me Elise. So I have, like you said, I have a daughter, I have 2 children, and we have something in common. My son is also named Ethan. So he's 10, and he's my firstborn. And then came Idrea 3 years later in 2017. She's now 6 and some change. She's going to be 7 in July. So Ethan was born. He was a little speech delayed. We got some help. Fine, bounced right back. Started to speak like he was expected to speak. So I didn't think anything of that. He went back to, to what we call normal in our society. And then Idrea came. She started just like you, the first 18, 20 to 2 years, 24 months. She's saying the little few words, a little fewer than the doctor would like, but she was nonetheless saying a few words. So I'm not thinking anything of it because her brother, was shy with speech. So no big deal. But then when we go to the doctor for appointments and they make you fill out those milestone forms, to see where your child is. That's when the doctor start asking me more and more questions. And I'm like, why are you asking me all these questions? Like, why do I have to fill out more forms? And she was more and more curious with regards to Idrea. And this is 2018. And I'm like, okay, Idrea is 2019. Idrea is 2.5. And then 2020 comes and it's like, okay, she's asking me for more things. And it's now the middle of COVID and she wants me to have Idrea further evaluated by a psychologist. And I'm like, okay. Finding the psychologist and making an appointment was just like you, a long wait. In the meantime, I'm just hoping that my child would just snap out of whatever she's going through. But we finally got the evaluation when she was 4 and she passed with flying colors. I mean, she passed the autism spectrum test with flying colors. She hit all the marks. Everything that they were looking to see, Idrea was checking all the boxes. Boom, 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 boom. So when they announced it to me, I went by myself because my husband wasn't available at the time. I was just like, my child don't got autism. What are you talking about? We don't have autism in my family. Like, where are you coming from with this thing? Like, no. No, my child doesn't have autism. I know what your book says, but my child is fine. It's just COVID. She doesn't have any friends. She doesn't have anybody to play with. Her brother is a little older, so he doesn't play with her. She's fine. She was talking. She was saying a few words when she was born and all. No, 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 no. So my child continues. She has the tantrum. She has the screaming, the crying for at least 30 minutes, the just throwing herself on the floor when she wanted to express herself, pointing when she wanted something, all those things. She was just, like I said, she was just hitting all the marks, all the things that I was told. This is how children on the spectrum behave. She was doing all that. And it was super frustrating because, of course, although I'm a registered nurse, I was not familiar with autism. I did not know autism like that. I may have heard about it maybe in school, but I wasn't familiar with the illness. So now back to the books. Now reading about this, really trying to see, is this what I'm told about my child? Is this really what's going on? And what does this mean for us? What does this mean for our life? Is the appeal? Can she take something to get over this? So now I'm investigating and trying to learn more about this disease that I felt like I should have known as a medical provider, but I wasn't. I wasn't aware of that. And this is the most difficult part, I think, for parents with a child on the spectrum. Sometimes it just hits us because it's more prevalent these days. More people are aware than before. It's a little easier for you to find someone who may know. But a few years back, you were on your own. You heard about this and that was it. Like you didn't even know who to ask, who to talk to. And visits, appointment with specialists were so far in between that all you had was the struggle until your appointment came where you can get the services that they recommended for your child. So it's been it's been a journey, to say the least, really.
Awesome. So, may I ask you a question? What were your thoughts about the cause of autism? You said that even though you are in the field of the medicine, but you have no idea. So once you got the diagnosis of your daughter being on the spectrum, what were your thoughts?
Oh, I started rehearsing everything back in my mind and wondering, okay, from the time I conceived her, this was that particular weekend because I happen to remember, uh, what did I do wrong? Did I eat the right food? Did I exercise enough? Did I take the right supplement? Did I take my folic acid? I started wondering and trying to check all the boxes to see what I had done wrong, where I
Yes.
had gone wrong to cause this to take place, cause this to happen. I had a child that was healthy first eaten. Now, where is this coming from with the Drea? So did I not drink enough vegetables, like smoothies? So I
Yeah,
started to, blame myself. I was sure that it was something that I had done. And also, just to put in parentheses, my culture does not help with that because my African ancestry, when something is wrong with the child, it's the mother's fault. So I never asked myself, what did my husband do wrong? It was
it's
always, what did I do wrong? You know,
right.
did I carry her the wrong way? Was I sleeping on the wrong side?
Mhm.
Did I look at somebody wrong on the street and then they bewitch me? So anything and everything you can think about, I was wondering, I was just questioning and second guessing myself, my pregnancy, my delivery, the everything that they say about immunization. Did I give her the wrong shot? Did they give it to her too early? Just about everything that happened from conception all the way to that diagnosis. I was just thinking about it and trying to reconsider what went wrong. Where did I go wrong?
Same thing for me. I went through the same feelings. And you have the guilt, right?
Oh
As a
yeah.
parent, yeah, you feel so guilty. Like you feel like it's your fault.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you probably have done something during your pregnancy or after your pregnancy when the baby got delivered.
Mm-hmm.
Something happened and it's because of you. It's your fault. And this is something that happened to me as well. And I remember all the time I was going to the pediatrician, I would say, I know it's my fault. She has to be, no, it's not your fault, Mrs. Fotso. We don't know even what causes autism. But I was like, I was even taking care of what she's trying to tell me, but I was like crying, it's my fault. I'm pretty sure I probably did something, but I don't know what. And just asking for God, asking God to help you and then to give you an answer,
Mm-hmm.
you know, save your kids,
Yep.
like, what did I do wrong? And ask your parents and in-laws, please, pardon me if I did something wrong to you. So I kind of related to you about all the, thoughts and feelings you went through. So now, as a parent, do you think the diagnosis of what the diagnosis of having a child with autism changed you? Do you think you're not the same person
No,
again, or
no,
how? Can you explain
no.
that, please?
Uh, Idrea story is a life-changing part of my life, literally. Like she has changed me in so many ways. Many things have happened that some qualities or some things that I thought I could handle a certain way. I realized with taking care of a child with autism that I wasn't so good at, and I had to refine, I had to work. Patience was one of them because you have to work on their schedule and with them. But let me tell you a quick story to share what really has impacted me. When Nigeria was 5 and she started kindergarten, the very first week of school, because she liked the yellow bus, even with all that she was going through, with the cartoon she was watching and all that, she was excited about riding the yellow bus to go to school. So when she started going to school, the very first week of school, it was a Thursday, September the 1st, she happens to separate from her peers and get on the wrong bus. She
Mm-hmm.
boarded the wrong bus, was taken to the wrong neighborhood, and was completely lost. By the time they realized it was actually my son, Ethan, who sounded the alarm at the school, he was looking where she was supposed to be sitting, and he realized that his sister wasn't sitting next to the teacher.
Yeah.
So he asked the teacher, and the teacher's like, what do you mean she's not around? Long story short, they looked around, used the cameras and everything, located her on the cameras and realized that she had boarded the wrong bus. Now they dispatched cars and all that to go find her. And they couldn't find her. I'm here
Wow.
at home waiting for her to come get off the bus. And she does not get off the bus. Instead, I get a phone call from the school saying, your daughter got on the wrong bus and we think we know where she is. So we have people going to find her. They're telling me they don't know where she is. They're just trying to buy time. And
Yeah.
while I'm on the phone with them, becoming absolutely hysterical because I have an autistic child that is now lost in the community, God knows where. Another phone call comes through, and it's from this lady that she asked me one of the questions that I don't wish any mother to ever hear: have you lost your child? And I started crying the more. and screaming. And then she finally managed to calm me down. And she tells me, no, 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 it's okay. I have her. It took her for her to put Drea on the phone to encourage Drea to say one word so I could recognize her voice. We go to her house to pick up Idrea. And we get there and she's comfortably playing with a puppy. The lady had a puppy, and that's how she was able to draw her in her house from where she was. I'm sharing this story just to encourage parents that have children on the spectrum, because one thing that we go through, not only do we feel guilty like I did throughout this process, we tend to think that we have to be there all the time, everywhere. But I think God used Idria's being lost to make me understand and appreciate the fact that God is in charge of everything. He's in charge of where our babies, our little angels are, because they are angels to him, where they are at all time. And where, again, to bring this awareness to for us to really sound the alarm so that more members of the community are aware. I'm saying this because the lady that happens to find Idrea, because autism is not as shared in the community as it should, God made sure to pick someone who knew about autism. The lady happens to be a school teacher from the county that teaches special ed education. I mean,
Wow.
you can't make this up. She happens to be a special ed teacher. So
Wow.
when she saw Idrea, yes, not only was she able to recognize the fact that this little girl with her orange vest, which kindergartners have to wear so that they can be easily identified by the staff in the school system, not only was she wearing the vest that sounds the alarm that this child should never be alone, she should always have an adult with her because she doesn't know any better, but she was able to use her skills as a special ed teacher to draw her, to make her feel comfortable and not have her run away. Because she could have just run away. She didn't have to agree to come to talk to that lady or don't enter her house. So she was able to use the skills that she knows because she knows autism. She was able to pick and realize that this child is different and draw her in, and then get my information from her book bag to reach out to me. So awareness, awareness, awareness. Hence, we are here sharing this and trying to really make sure that everybody that has a child with autism takes this as their mission. Awareness is so important. I think
Absolutely.
had been someone else who didn't know anything about autism, maybe the reaction would not have been the same. She could have just run away from this stranger, and maybe never found her.
Yeah.
So it was such a blessing that it was the right person. And it was the right person because God picked someone who knew about autism and who knew how to draw my child closer to her so that she can help.
Okay. So I know that, I mean, my experience with my son Ethan was that when he got diagnosis of autism, like I told you, I remember that day I was crying a lot. Normally they said we should go through the 5 stages of grief, you know, the five stages of grief model that was developed by Elizabeth Kubler-Ross. Everybody who is in the medical field probably know about that, with the denial, anger, and then bargaining, depression, for finally accept the condition. Did you go through all those phases with Adria?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I bet.
Oh, absolutely. So definitely the denial phase, OMG, like I shared earlier, no, Ethan was perfect. Idra is perfect.
Yeah.
My husband and I are fine. We don't have any history. We don't have not even any psychological disease in the family, no depression, no anxiety. My
Yeah.
child is fine. You know, we
Yeah.
can take your tests where you want to take them and keep them where you want to keep them. I have a perfect child. And, you know, I was in such denial, and it was terrible for someone being in the field, in the medical field, to be in such denial because, you know, I'm supposed to be living science, right? I'm a nurse, for God's sake.
Exactly. Exactly. You should know that.
But it could apply to other people, but not to my family. My child was not going to have autism. No, no, no. And of course, followed by anger. Why me? Why is my child having this? What did I do? No.
Yes.
No, so you're angry. You're angry with the doctors. You're angry with the psychologists for finding the results. You're
Yeah.
angry with everybody, and and anybody that wants to ask about it or to inquire. Your
Yes.
reaction is just anger. You're attacking
Anger,
because
yeah.
you're
You
like
attack and you
frustrated. Yeah,
isolate yourself. Don't
yeah,
want to talk to anybody.
yeah.
And yeah, you just in the anger mood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I started bargaining with God. Please,
Mm.
God, can you fix my child? If you fix my child, I promise I'm going to do this X, Y, Z. God, can you just fix my child? Please fix my child already. You pray, you fast, you sow, you do all the
Oh
things
my
that
God.
you know
Praying
how
it.
to do. You
Yeah.
on your knees, you stand up, you lay down, anything that you think can help sway God to make this go away because of
Yeah.
course you want to have your perfect child again. So yes, I went through all that. The depression wasn't long. I'm sure I had that period where I just felt like I was so hopeless. But by the grace of God, I did not stay long in that period because just like you, I did not use services. I didn't do AVA therapy with her, but I was so blessed to be connected to a friend of mine who introduced me to some natural supplement. So when Nigeria was, like I said, when she was the 5, she had started school and all that. By that 2 months in after that, I was introduced to some amazing supplement that were geared to clean the gut.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was
Yeah.
able to use those supplements to really help Idrea. The changes, just like with you, they became so palpable, so obvious.
Oh yeah.
Till today, people that knew her are just amazed. They are just like,
Yeah.
what did you do with this child? But nothing but the grace of God.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome, awesome. Does anybody has a story to share with us? Please, we would love to hear. All you have to do is, raise your hand, and then I will give you, the floor. So please don't hesitate. Feel free to ask questions. Like I said earlier, it's an interactive Zoom meeting. It's not like we are teaching you stuff and we
Yeah.
just sharing experience and talking mom to mom about autism and the beauty of raising awareness. So please feel free to ask your questions and raise your hand. Okay, so another thing that I've noticed with the so we're talking about autism awareness, right? And why us? The title is Autism Awareness, If Not Us, Who? To me, it has a lot of sense. Um, I feel like I have, I have like, I feel like I have the responsibility to help people with autism and their families. I feel like I have to be the advocate, I have to be the voice, um, and being there for her, for them, just to help them. I feel like I have that mindset that other mom, probably in this, not at the right place there, but I'm pretty sure they will get through that because it takes a process. It's not easy, to get to acceptance, the whole acceptance point. It can take time and everybody is different. So, my question for you, Elise, is how will you transform knowing that your child, our sweet girl, Adria, has autism? Uh,
I
do,
I, I,
mhm.
I made it a personal mission because I'm someone who is usually pretty reserved. I wasn't even for say on social media until like maybe 3 years ago or so. I was very private with my life. I was just, having my family, taking care of my family, going to work, but not very involved with, being out there and not let alone talking about my personal experiences. But Idrea's what happened with Idrea gave me some boldness that I didn't know I had. I was utterly convinced that it did not happen to my family for no reason, for just
Yes.
for the sake of, God being up there, being bored, and deciding that I was going to be the chosen one. I
Yes.
see this as a calling. I see this as something I was meant to do. So He found in me, I see it's like God determined that I had the right strength, the right stamina to allow this child to be born in our family, because He knew I wasn't just going to receive it and sit. He knew that
Yes.
I was going to take it and make it shine, take
Yes.
it and turn it around and make people be aware of just how special our babies are. Because let's face it, we are all different. We are
Yes.
all different. If we all are examined by a psychologist, I'm sure they'll put every single of us on the spectrum.
Oh, yes.
Sure, we all have things. Just to give you an example, I saw my mom eat a banana earlier, and you know how the banana is shaped. You have the top where
Yes.
it's connected to the bunch. And she turned it around and she started eating the banana from the bottom. I was like, Mom, why would you do such a thing? And she's like, oh, if I was eating from the top because it's not fully yellow, I was afraid that it was going to open the wrong way. And I was like, I could never eat a banana like that.
Yes.
It was almost like I had an awakening. I was like, wait a minute. This is something that could qualify me as being on the spectrum. I have one way of eating a banana. So
Yes.
it is just like, no, we all are different.
We
We
all
are
are
all different.
different.
And it's about time our community, our family, our loved one realize that those kids that God has entrusted us with are not some, weirdos out there. No, He has made them unique in a way, because we are all created in His image, which means
Yes.
that Ethan is a reflection of God. Idrea is a reflection of God. So if we accept that they are special in their own way, maybe we can sit and appreciate the beauty that God has put in them. Maybe we can sit and appreciate their talent. How many times do we hear on the news how, oh, this autistic child has is a mastermind, and
Yes.
actually most of the great men and the
All
world
and
that we know
doctors
are
and
all on the
surgeons.
spectrum. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
all of them now we are finding out, oh, wait a minute, the person who invented this and that was actually on the spectrum. This person was actually on the spectrum. So
Yeah.
we have geniuses in our mind, and if we find anything wrong with them, then we are the problem. It's not them, because God doesn't make any mistakes. So He
Mhm.
does not make mistake. Hence, we're supposed to sit and observe and look at them and say, okay, how do I approach this? Because every problem that we see is a problem. It's actually not a problem. It's the
Yes.
way we perceive the
Yes.
problem or the
Mm-hmm.
issue. That's what the problem is. Like if
Yeah.
you see something that is brown and you say, oh, it's brown. Well,
Yeah.
the problem is not the color brown. It's you. What does brown mean to you? How
Mm-hmm.
do you perceive brown? Have you
Yeah.
associated brown with something negative? Then you are the problem. So
That's
our
true.
kids are perfect in their own individual ways. So we need to bring and raise awareness so that the community stop looking at them as weirdos.
Yes.
Stop judging them for the way they react or they fit.
Yeah.
The more we do that, because at the end of the day, we need to be comfortable to be with our children everywhere and not always, be afraid of how people are going to look at us or what are they going to think. So raising Idrea has given me a boldness that I didn't know I had, because now I want to take her places. I want to take a mic and introduce her, and I want to share her quality. She is so gifted. She loves drawing.
Oh, yes.
Loves learn
I saw a
things.
couple of her videos and she's
Yes,
just
she loves to
amazing.
sing, and
Yeah.
she does things that I cannot do. She has an excellent memory. So I'm supposed to showcase her greatness instead of sit there and label what her weaknesses are. Because at the end of the day, we all have weaknesses. Somebody can also sit and list and elaborate all of our weaknesses. Would that put us on a spectrum?
Yeah. No. And this is a really good example because I mean if you observe me at night, you will probably think I'm in the spectrum too because I can check on my door if it's correctly locked maybe 10 times. This is something I do every night, even though my husband told me, oh, I already checked, everything is closed. Nope, I cannot sleep if I didn't do it myself.
Mhm.
Oh, am I on the spectrum because of that? See, so and you are right. Acceptance, we have to push for acceptance, accept those kids, accept autism, and promote inclusion, definitely. One thing that I know that he can transform me is he taught me the value of being patient. You know,
Mm.
before I wasn't a patient person. No. When I wanted my thing, it has to happen right now. I want it now. I can't wait. Why would I wait? I want it. So with patience, Ethan teaching me the beauty of patience, because
Mhm.
having a child on the spectrum require, they have the unique way of processing the world, and it requires patience.
Mhm.
And through this journey, I've learned that it's good to be patient,
Mhm.
and allowing things to unfold on their own space,
Mhm.
on your own pace, and let it go. Sometimes you can't control everything, and you have to just be patient, and things will happen.
Mhm.
So, if one of the participants, please, if you have question or somebody has a question. Yes, Elise, you can unmute yourself, and
Oopsie. Let's see.
you have a question, Elise?
Is there another Elise or
Is it another Elise? No?
no?
So any question, please feel free to ask. Like I said, we are here to learn together, right? So if you want to share your own experience, feel free. Just raise your hand, and we'll make it happen. Also, it's okay. All right. We have a question. Okay, let me unmute you. Dare to hope.
Hi, no, I don't have a question. You said that if someone has something to share,
Mm-hmm.
um,
Sure.
okay. Let me put my camera on.
Sure. We want to see your beautiful face.
Absolutely.
Thank
I
you
want,
for joining us tonight.
it's a bit blur because it's a bit late now, but I just want to share. I was so thank you for inviting us. I mean, it is always very important to mention about autism and how we deal with that, and how we cope on a
Mm.
day-to-day basis. Amen. I'm Edith. I'm a mother. I'm not a professional. I'm a mother, and I have a little experience. I will say a little experience because the spectrum is so wide.
Mhm.
No one can say that they know everything, and I have been blessed with 4 children. I have three on the spectrum. I will not say that they are children because now they are 25. I have twin girls, they are 25, and a son who is 22, yes. And they're all on the spectrum, and God has been good. I'm not standing here to say that all they have been beautiful. No, there have been challenges. There have been some times where um, I did not know what to do or where to go.
Mm.
And I believe that today many people who are just starting this journey. They are so privileged because back in days, I mean, my children were born in 1993. They were diagnosed. That was 2004, 1993, 2004. Yeah, no, 2003 even. And at that time, it was still taboo.
Mhm.
It was still taboo to talk about it. There were not usually when I listen to Sandrine and all those methods and all those therapies, I can't say anything because I don't know them. I
Mhm.
haven't been privileged to know so many therapies. For me, what I want to share was that the little experience that I had, it was the experience with God. Because without Him, I don't think I would have been able to stand here today. I
No.
was desperate. I was depressed. I was guilty. Most every many other things that I was feeling because not many people, there were not many groups, not many people were talking about it. And we're having three children on the spectrum,
Mm.
different abilities. It was quite difficult. But I just want to say that for me, I found the strength to cope. in the presence of the Lord.
Amen.
And I had to learn to use the word autism or disability without feeling guilty, because he gave me so much love. When I say God, he gave me so much love that those words, they lost their power. So I would say that my child has autism or he has a disability, but it did not mean that I was going to be down. The words, I could say it aloud. I could say it aloud. Even though, having said that, I could say it, but it took me 18 years to be able to go public. Now I go public. I just finished. I just had a meeting here in London. It was 9 p.m. 7 p.m. I had a meeting just to share about, like the uncut. We dare to hope. I do a lot of meetings, but kind of professional. Everyone is there and everything. But then this particular one is a kind of uncut. When people ask me, "Oh, how do you cope? You had 3 children. How do you have 3 children? How do you cope? Now they're adults and everything." So for me, it was an opportunity to share how my life of the children, being able, because the word disability has lost its power, I was able to see what is disability, and then I was able to see that with the presence of the Lord, there's a word ability that is hidden inside that not many people see. So I was able to see that ability, and it is that ability that I showcase today in my son, in my daughters. We dare to hope. I go around the world and I showcase those abilities. But at the end of the day, when you ask me, okay, having showcased the ability, how do you cope? Then I will tell you that the only reason I cope is because I have a relationship with Jesus. That's the only thing. Because every day, when it is difficult, my children are adults now. So now it is another completely different domain, which is the domain of employment. The reality, and this is the domain that I'm entering it now, but I tell you, in 10 years, we will have meetings finding out about employment, because all the children that we have now, they will become adults.
That's true.
They are not prepared for that. Like I wasn't prepared for that. Then you find out, oh, what do we do? What do we do? It's good about inclusion and everything, but it comes to the point where you are faced with your children. So you have to create something, you have to create a job, or you have to find a job. The aspiration that we have for our children, oh, we want our child to do this, but you have to come to reality that your child cannot work like in the city, in a big bank and everything, or maybe he can. But even if he cannot, it is okay. It is okay for your child to work in a kitchen, as long as he lives a meaningful life and he's happy. You understand? Some of our children will develop huge ability, especially when they go to the level of university. But some will not. You understand? So here, I'm just standing here to say that, yes, we have all this, and I'm so happy that a lot of meetings are there to bring awareness, to bring acceptance, and to bring everything else. I am so happy to participate, to share my experience. And most of it, as we share what we are going through now, we need to bear in mind that in 10 years, what are we going to do? Because this is where the reality sinks in. Your child is adult. You cannot hide him again. You cannot care for him. You are getting older. You are getting tired. So what do we do? When I was 23, I wasn't living in my parents' house. But now my son is 23. I still have to do many things for him, you see. But I really thank and bless the Lord, because there's more awareness, and I'm sure that there'll be more acceptance, even in terms of employment. Okay, so let me not take all the time, but yeah, this is me.
Thank you so much.
Oh
Thank
my
you so
goodness.
much.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing.
Yeah, I was
You
reading
touch, yeah.
all the comments, and then we are blessed, Elise, to have people connecting
Yes.
everywhere. So
Yes, we
I
have
see
Chicago.
Lynn
Ooh.
connecting from Maryland. Thank you so much for connecting, Lynn. We have Maryland again, Mrs. Beverly Smith, I think. We also have Houston, me, of course, Houston, Texas. No,
Chicago.
Beverly is from Cleveland, Ohio.
Mhm.
And then we have Virginia.
Mhm.
Carol, thank you so much. We have from Maryland, Janice. I hope I pronounce it well.
Janice.
Janice.
Mhm.
We have Dayo from Chicago. And then, of course, Edith from London. Thank you so much, guys. We feel blessed. Thank you. Thank
Yes.
you. Does
Yes.
anybody wants to share the insight and experience with us? Please don't feel shy. Awesome. Okay.
Carol. Carol
Carol.
Anderson. Go.
Yes.
You can unmute.
Okay.
Hello, ladies
Hello.
Hello.
and gentlemen, whoever on the call. I am at an awe, and I thank you. First, I want to say thank you, ladies, for putting this together. It means a lot just to listen to the stories, and why I asked where everyone was from, because it shows that autism is just not in our local communities, globally.
Mhm.
It's in every state in America, and it's
Mhm.
in almost every country, if not in every country.
Mhm.
So thank you, ladies, for putting that together. I have a son. My son is 28 years old, Deontay. He's my second child, and I echo the stories. My first child, no problem. My second child, autism, I just didn't want to accept it. And I give you a little bit of my background. I spend quite a bit of time in the United States Navy. So I served this country with a child with special needs. Imagine me being a mom.
Mm.
I've been to
Wow.
war. I've
Wow.
always gone. I did over 30 years in the military. And for
Wow.
me, it took a village to help me. I was the
Absolutely.
only mom in my entire family with a child with special needs. So I'm the first. But it was a puzzle. Like they said, autism is a puzzle. I didn't understand.
Yeah.
Doctors didn't know. So it started with development delay. That's what you're told. Give it time, give it time, give it time. You know, they're going to pull through. And after a while, you're getting antsy as a parent, say, no, I don't see any change.
Mhm.
But come to realize, like I said, my son is 27, 28 now. Back then, it wasn't talked about as much. Even if the
Yes.
science was there, parents was not hearing about it. So I too myself blame myself a lot. Did I eat right? Was it because I was in the military? Was it high stress? You know, what did I contribute to it? I didn't blame the father. I didn't blame anyone. Didn't blame my husband. I focus on the mom and my responsibility. I since then have been an advocate for our children, young adults, because in America, I believe we still have ways to go. We have ways to go in the schools to recognize that our children needs fair and equitable education as everyone else. And thank you, ladies, for being in the medical field, because when someone in the medical field can look me as a parent that's not in the medical field and say, you're not alone. I'm going through the same thing. It means a lot to me
Mhm.
because I've been at doctors that would be dismissive to say, well, I don't understand. But when a doctor or a nurse said, you know, I understand because I'm dealing with the same thing, it means more to me than you could even tell me how to fix it. That's to show that together we're in this fight. So I
Yes.
just want to tell you, ladies, thank you so much. If you're not a part of the Autism Society in your state, I definitely would say look into it. It's another nonprofit organization, but they're backed by a lot of funds, a lot of money, and we need to pour into our own folks. If there's a nonprofits out there, we should be pouring into it so we can help each other. So, ladies, thank you so much for what you do, and may God continue to bless you all.
Thank
Thank you.
you so
Please,
much, Miss Anderson.
before you leave, Carol, please, can you write it down on the chat? The name again of the.
Yes, I will.
Thank you so much.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate you. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing, Carol.
Yes, really appreciate it.
Beverly, go ahead.
Oh, yes. Thank you so much for everything. My sister, she has a son that's autistic, and he's about 24. He'll be 24 this year, I do believe.
Mhm.
You said that you started taking the love biome for your daughter.
Yes, ma'am.
Was that you,
Mhm.
Doctor?
Mhm.
Okay, at least.
Mhm.
Yes. So I heard your story back at the beginning when I first started with Love Biome, and
Mhm.
she's been using it too with her son, and she notices a difference with him.
Amen.
He seemed to have a better attitude. I know he gets very emotional, very sad at times.
Mhm.
He could be sad, happy, all in a few minutes of each other.
Mm.
But yeah, so the Love Biome is really helping a lot with that.
Amen. Amen.
Yeah.
I'm so grateful. Words cannot express how grateful I am to have been connected to this because I did not know what to do. And like many of you guys with children on the spectrum know, when you then go and turn around to the pediatrician to ask, most of them will give you a pill for everything that the child is going through.
Yeah.
Well, the child is constipated, here's a pill.
Mhm.
The child is agitated, here's some Xanax, here's something to bring him to calm him down. The
Yeah.
child screams a lot, can't sleep, here's another pill to help him sleep.
Go
So
down.
they want
Yeah.
to fix every single problem with a
Yes.
pill or
Mhm.
therapy or something. So it's not a lot of them realize the or appreciate the impact of gut health when it comes to the illnesses that we face, because it's not just for autism. Gut health affects everything. Our our gut is our center. And I was kind of disappointed, and that made me feel even more I was upset with myself when I realized that I knew gut health was important, but I didn't connect one and one together to treat that or to use that to help my daughter. I was just, I guess, when you are in your emotions with what you're going through with the diagnosis, you can't think straight because I did not connect. I did not think gut health. Let me try to help her. I was just dealing with the fact that I have a child with autism is the end of the world. So, but yes, but gut health has been, I went from a child who at almost 5 years old, who barely said three word sentences. She could barely make a 3 word sentence. I could not send her to fetch an item. I could not tell her, pick up the pen and give it to me. She had no understanding. Like it was almost like information was bouncing on her forehead and out the window. So I went from that to a child who was in a gen ed program. She's not in an autism school or anything. She has accommodation in the classroom, but she is functioning well. She goes to school with her brother, comes back, does her homework, is on the grade level that she is, and talking nonstop now. And it's just, I cannot give credit to one thing, one therapy, one supplement or another without saying that it's nothing but the grace of God. Because you
Amen.
can take anything, you can do anything, but if you don't allow him to do his part, to empower whatever you're using, what techniques you're using, what supplement you're using, it's like a placebo, like we say in the
Yes.
medical field. You're just giving him something. So you have to recognize that he sees them as perfect. So if there is any change he's going to make, you have to work along with him for those changes to take place.
Thank you so much. Enjoyed it enjoyed it a lot. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you
Miss
so much
Peppy.
for your question. Appreciate it. All right.
Anybody else has a question or wants to share? We're
Yeah.
family, don't be shy.
This is Carol again. I will say, I'm a nutritionist by trade, and I would have never even focused on gut health until it really started coming mainstream.
Mm.
And I will tell you, I was at an awe because, yes, my son is on medication because of the anger, the aggressiveness, and keeping him contained in school because he's like 6'2".
Oh,
He's really tall.
Wow. It's tall.
So when folks see him coming, it's
Mm.
almost like he looks normal, but then the anxiousness of something happened, he may hit someone mistakenly or just because of anger. I had no choice. But I tell you what, those products that you just talked about, no joke, has been a life saving for my son.
Awesome.
And from a nutritionist background, they are nutrient deficient. because of their eating habits.
Mm-hmm.
They eat the same thing over and over. So I tell everyone that I know, especially those with children on the spectrum or anyone, the minute they start getting the nutrients in their body, you're going to see a difference because the brain needs nutrient. The brains need it. And so when we talk to folks and they understand, I say nutrient is so important. And now we have the right nutrient with everything else, the pre, pro, postbiotic, and everything, the digestive enzyme. This is what's going to make a major difference in our children and even our own body. So thank you so much for sharing that. That's what you're using, because I myself is using the same thing. My son is totally different. Matter of fact, it complements the medication. I told his doctor that.
Exactly.
I wanted him off the medicine because it seemed like the medicine was making him more agitated. But what I realized, when I filled him with so much nutrient, the medicine now has something to feed off, and it's working better. So thank you, ladies.
Thank you for sharing. Could you guys please write on the chat for everyone to have the name of the supplement, please?
I'm doing it right now.
Thank you. Is there anyone who wants to share the experience with us?
Oh, I see Global Africa connected and with their hand raised.
Okay, please, can you unmute them?
You're muted. Let me see if I can unmute him.
I did.
Okay.
Hello, sisters. I'm only one man in this team. I'm very happy
Oh, you're
to
special. You're the
hear.
king.
Hello, you are
I
the
am a
king
king.
of God. Yes.
I am.
You are the
You
king.
say it. You say it. I am a
Receive
king.
it.
Yes. Thank
First
you
of
for
all,
joining
I
us.
do appreciate. First of all, I do appreciate you guys what you're doing. I believe, based to my understanding, you invented medicine. They take away from you. You invented agriculture. It was taken away from you. You invented the family union. They take away from you, but now you are bringing back. I do appreciate for that. So when it comes to gut health, it's so interesting. I'm a quantum physicist. I learned those things in school. I can tell you, in 1600, there were gut health and the genetics. The genetics take over because there were money. But wherever there is money, where there is people who go there. And then gut health has been forgotten. That's in 2005, 2007, people started thinking, no, why we cannot think about the other community which we have in our own body? Why we think outside? Why the healer is in our own? So it's our neighbor. So the 100 trillion microcell, or which has in our body, has a lot of things to do for our health. When we are talking about autism, it's because the mother was unable to transfer more bacteria into the child. And then when the baby born, there's no any bacterians which can colonize the child. And then after 3 to 4 months or 6, the child is starting changing. But now,
did we lose him?
Yes, I think so. Something happened. Is him maybe has a bad connection? Yeah, he had a bad connection.
Uh-oh.
That's a pity. Hopefully he'll be back. Does anyone who wants to take over and share the experience with us tonight?
Don't be shy.
Okay, somebody raised his hand. Lynn. Okay, can you? I don't see.
Hi everyone. Hello, Sandrine and Lise. Nice meeting you. Nice talking to you again. And thank you so much, Sandrine, for always, allowing us to share our, stories or our journey through this platform. Again, I'm a mom of two, and my first daughter is 19, soon to be 20, and my baby boy is 10, and his name is Marco. So I've been in the journey, the autism journey, for the past almost 7 years now. My son was actually diagnosed when he was 2.5. And of course, we were experiencing all the symptoms, all the behaviors that you both mentioned earlier, from, screaming, tantrums, scratchings, you name it. I've lived all that. And what really made me question what was going on about my son was that anytime he was at the time he was in a home daycare, right? And anytime I would drop him at the daycare, he will not let me, he would always cling on to me. So it was really hard for him to separate from me. And I just had to spend 30 minutes, at the home daycare so he can calm down before I can, leave for work. And I thought maybe it was just the daycare environment that wasn't good or suitable for him. So we decided then to put him in a regular or normal daycare. And when I brought him to that daycare, I met this lovely lady one day, and she told me that, ma'am, I don't think this is the right place for your son, because he was, displaying, irate behavior. He was always screaming and, hitting, scratching, laying on the floors, you name it. He was doing pretty much, having bad tantrums. And of course, I knew nothing about, autism. And I then decided to go to his pediatrician. And it was the same pediatrician that I had for my daughter as well. And I went there and I told her that I felt like he hasn't been saying enough words. And I was comparing my daughter to my son. And what she was telling me was that, oh, Lynn, girls are more talkative. Usually girls talk, faster or sooner than boys. That's what she was telling me to calm me down. But I knew deep inside me that something was wrong. Me living with my son on a daily basis and see how he was progressing, where I actually took my son, and all the little tests that were given that day, from coloring, audition, little tests that were really, given to him to assess him, he failed. And that's how pretty much the whole thing started. I started looking for ABA therapies. Of course, we had to deal with insurance. The insurance company that I had at the time will not accept, wasn't covering enough for ABA therapies. I was referred to Children's Hospital. I was referred to Kennedy Krieger in Baltimore. And of course, the waiting list. And all this time, we were nervous. I was scared. My son could not sleep at night. I was crying night and day because I couldn't tell what was going on with my son. And we were just tired of waiting, because the appointment that we had was 6 months up to a year on a waiting list. So we weren't even sure if we would be able to see a developmental pediatrician or not. So we took upon ourselves to find a psychologist, a private psychologist who was able to, to diagnose our son. And that's how the whole thing started. So we paid someone in private. He came and did a couple of assessments from home. He observed our son at home. He went to the daycare and school also. And then of course, he did his report and all that. We had the final diagnosis. I thought my world would collapse. Although deep inside me, I was already leaning towards autism, but
Never
not
knew
until
that.
we get that
Mhm.
that diagnosis, right? We keep on hoping. We just like, okay, let's pray that it's just a speech delay and all that. He will just everything will be fine. And I remember, and my sister is here, and I'm saying this out loud so she can hear it. I remember talking to my sister while I was in tears one day. And I was like, look, something is wrong with Marco. I don't know. I don't know. And my sister told me, oh, you were complaining too much, or maybe just too scared. Stop
Mhm.
comparing to Marie, the older sister. Here in Cameroon, some boys speak at the age of 7, he's only 3, you shouldn't worry about it. And I was like, well, even if a child is speaking at the age of 7, I don't think it's normal.
Yeah.
So, but but I didn't let that discourage me. So I was very like, I was pretty much intense about it. I was like, no, I need to figure out what's going on. And when we had that diagnosed with the psychologist, and we finally get another second diagnosis through Children's Hospital, so we knew
Mhm.
everything was set in stone. We were then convinced that Marco was autistic. Um, I've been through many ABA therapies, like many of us here. It hasn't been easy. He's 10 today. He's doing a lot better. Everything that we've mentioned here, we try to implement that at home, from food, reducing carb, try to reduce candies, anything that is, any coloring food. We try to stay away from that at home, but he's doing a lot, much, much better. He
Thank God.
now able to read like grade level 2
No,
books. But I'm just gonna say I continue to do. I know it's a long journey. We continue to do what we have to do to support him. Um, and that's pretty much what I have to share today. But we're in this together, and everywhere, there's magazine or what you call that, um, an article about autism. I'm a social, social, what you call that? I'm a lot in the social network.
okay.
So I'm always there. Anytime I find an article, I will really send in, I always send you, articles so you can share or you can post in the group if you find them valuable. So
Yeah.
that's pretty much how what we do here at home, and how we try to support, our
Thank you
son,
for
and
your
I try to
support, Lynn.
advocate out there. What I've really learned since my son has been in the spectrum is that everywhere I go now, anytime I see a child, I observe a lot, and I don't mind being involved. Even if I see a child that acts weird, I will try to approach the mother and say, hey, look, how old is he? Because some of us may think it's normal, or so people that have never been exposed or have never been around parents with children in the spectrum, they don't know. So sometimes you see kids acting a little weird at a party. The parent thinks it's normal, but I just kind of approach the person and say, hey, how old is he? Just ask a little question and see how I can, bring my input, just so I can bring a little bit of awareness, if that can help. And thank you so much, Sandrine, for sharing your story. Thank you, Elise. Thank you, everybody else here.
Thank you
Um,
so much, Lynn. Really appreciate your support. Always, always. Say hello
I'm
to
so
Marco for
excited
me.
on how we are all internationally connected. It's something.
I know, I know. I think Global African is back. Let's unmute him. Yes.
Yes, I am sorry before I get discharged without conclude my
No
speech.
worry.
As I say,
Good.
I beginning
Yeah.
have to continue to appreciate the queens.
Mm-hmm.
So after understand that the gut health is the most important to all diseases by searching to NIH, CDC, and the others publications, and I feel that our sisters who are the best doctors than a particular doctor can help one another to reach to the goal for our children. I decided to go to the church and approach the men and say, we need to help these sisters because maybe they didn't have enough information about that, but I have information. Let us share. And I share with them. Now I have already put like 10 men where they can contribute to 50 bucks and they can buy a product to the one woman who have two children who have autism. And I believe that in the future, that woman will come here with you guys to tell you what he has already get. As a king here, what you're doing, I support it, with all of my heart.
Amen. Thank
So,
you.
so you have my back. You have my back. I will.
Amen.
I will
Thank you
preach
so
nothing.
much.
Be sure
I
to
will.
share the website with her, okay? Be sure
Yes,
to
Yes.
share the website, the autismblueminds.org. Yes, anybody
Yes.
that would like to be part, because this is only the first of many, we are on fire. We want to make sure that our kids, our children are loved the way they are because our God makes no mistakes. So this is only the beginning. This is only the first of many. And we love to see parents come and share because this is a village thing and we can all learn from each other and from each other's experiences, what has worked for you, what hasn't. And also just encourage one another, like Carol said earlier, hearing it from professionals, from people who are in the medical field that share with you that they were feeling the same feelings that you were feeling. It's very important. I didn't see it on that angle until she mentioned that. So it just let us know that we're on the right path and what we are doing is needed in the community. And the more mothers like us join and share will make us even stronger and will make our voices heard.
Yeah.
The king is in your bag. Deliver it. Thank you.
Amen. Thank you, King.
Thank you. All right. Does anybody else want to share? We have been on the call for an hour and 20 minutes
Oh
now.
my goodness.
Yeah, it's very interesting. So let's give us a couple minutes and then we're about to conclude today's meeting. And, I can just say, let's carry forward a message of acceptance and understanding towards people with autism. By embracing diversity and promoting inclusivity, we create a world where everyone can thrive. So the meeting is about to end unless somebody wants to share another story with us. Does anybody else want to say something before?
If you don't have any question, let me ask you one question. What in the mind of someone, if any of you has a child or a loved one or knows a loved one who's on the spectrum, what would you like us to discuss, to share that maybe you haven't heard? Or what would you like us to talk about that would be meaningful, that will feel like, well, that will uplift you, encourage you? Is there something that you want us to discuss that, we can talk about next time we meet that will feel like, okay, this is worth attending? Do you have any suggestions for us? Because we are a village, we're doing all of this together. So what is your input? You can put it in the chat, you can raise your hand, and we'll take that in consideration as we're planning for the next gathering.
I know I spoke with Lynn last time and she got a great suggestion. Lynn, can you hear us? Yes.
I'm sorry, did you say something, Sandrine?
Yes, remember I spoke with you about the topic you would love to see us discuss about. And you had a great suggestion about inviting a teacher from the
Yes, my suggestion was to see if we can invite one of the teacher who can come and help us understand or better understand IEP and what they really expect parents to know, or how to pretty much uh, discuss or be prepared, I would say, for IEP meetings, which is actually a great tools to see how our kids actually are doing or are progressing. And the reason why I thought this is actually an important topic is because over the course of the years, I found out for my son that sometimes they would just if you because the number of pages in the IEP is like 25 to 43 sometimes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
That's
if
true.
you don't pay attention, the teachers, some of the teachers, not all of them are lazy, so they tend to repeat the same goal over and over. So if you
That's
don't read that, you think your child hasn't been making or isn't making any progress at school, but you are home, you're seeing, a little bit of progress, and but in the IEP, you're seeing something totally different.
yes.
And so I thought that maybe having a teacher to come over and discuss a little bit how they prepare for IEPs can actually be a big help for us parents. So when we go in the meeting, we know what to talk or what to read or how they actually put their report together. Um, yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah,
Okay.
very great suggestion. This
Very
is a
good.
great
And I know
suggestion.
we are connected from the US, but we also have the UK.
Yeah,
Not sure if
yeah.
it's something that is done in the UK, but the
Mm-hmm.
IEP is an institutional educational plan. That's what it stands for. And basically, it's the plan that is put in place for parents and teachers, basically the team that is working with the child at school and at home to come up with ideas on how to help the child improve. So they set up goals, and those goals are reevaluated maybe twice a year, and those milestones, and then the parents will meet. It can be in person or it can be online, just in case it's not done in the UK, so you have an idea of what we're talking about. And it varies from state to state, but in general, at least, that would be an awesome idea. I had someone that I know is a special ed teacher that was connected. I don't know if she is still, Vanessa, are you still connected? Can I put you on the spot and have you commit? Let me see. I don't know if Vanessa is still with us. She is actually a special ed teacher, and she could be one
Oh,
that we can
awesome.
have speak. If she's not connected, trust me, I'm gonna work on that and see
Uh-huh.
if I can choose her arm so that she can be a part of us next time, and connect so that we can get that insight, the other side, the teacher side of the story. So that would be great. One thing that I would love for us to talk about also, since nobody wanted to commit, is how it made you feel after you've received the diagnosis. Now you have accepted. Now you know this thing is not going away. This is God's will, and now you are ready to deal with it. How did you or anybody that has a child or family, a loved one on the spectrum, how was it dealing with the look that people
Other
gave
people.
you, the family, the neighbors, the friend, those who thought were on your side, those that you thought loved you unconditionally, until you have a child with autism, and now they don't want to invite you to parties no more.
Yes.
And now they don't want you to be part of their functions because you have this child that just keeps screaming. You have this child that don't sit still, that is always aggressive.
Or,
How
or, or
did
they
you
just
deal?
or they just having pity for you, like
Yes,
that
yes,
was something I didn't like at all.
yes,
Feeling pity for me. Even
exactly,
though it can be overwhelming, but that doesn't mean that life stops.
exactly.
We still need to be able to party
Mm-hmm,
and visit friends.
mm-hmm.
Oh, when you go, oh, they are, oh, I feel so bad. Oh, no,
Yeah,
we don't need that.
yeah.
Sometimes
So,
we just wanted to go to the party and enjoy and then, relax. Yeah, that would be a great subject. That would be a great one. The look of
and I
others.
hope you guys will join us again so that you can share how it was, whether you were, the parents, or you were that other person giving the look. We will still like to know how you felt, what made you feel like that you had to now start looking at this family differently because they have a child on the spectrum. Because this is going to help us all learn and grow and maybe treat those kiddos differently once we see them.
Definitely, definitely. So we are about to close on this meeting, but before we go ahead and do that, I would love to thank everyone, for joining us tonight. I would love to thank Dare to Hope, connecting from London at a very late time. This is very lovely. I would love to thank everyone. We had connection from Virginia, Chicago, Maryland, Ohio. Yes, we hope to see you, next time. And please share with your loved one our website, the Autism Blue Minds, for, our own experience, interesting topic, and then, so you can be on the loop of our activities and everything. So I don't know if you have to say something before.
We have California.
We have California, Los
Mhm.
Angeles.
Yes.
Ooh,
How about that? We have all corners of the USA.
See? Awesome, awesome. So do you want to say something to us, Angie? You're just connecting, right? You want to raise your hand and say something? Please feel free. Hello? Don't be shy.
Can you hear us from California? Did you want to?
Hello,
Yeah,
Hello?
welcome.
can you hear me? Yes. Hi, how are you? Actually, I've been online. I just didn't put where I'm from, but I've been listening.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I have a nephew who's who has autism. He's about 4.5 years old,
Mhm,
and I know how much of a challenge it has. It could be
mhm,
because my brother been dealing with with him with schooling and everything else. So it's a great challenge, and every resources that I have, I will send it to him. I just sent him the websites that was posted, and so he could at least be connected, and then share with the people who have the same issues out there. So I really thank you for all the participants, and for having this great meeting. Thank you.
mhm.
Awesome. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for, sharing your story.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank you.
So before we close the meeting, do you want to add something?
I'm just blessed. I'm humble because we fail to know how blessed we are. Because just me having Idrea, now I have met all of you guys.
I
So
know.
I'm counting my blessings every time I do something that is related to her. I've met so many amazing people. I'm connected to Sandrine today because we have that in common. So just be encouraged that your child is not a mistake. Your child was not born with autism because God hated you or because he didn't think you were, good enough to have the perfect child, because your child is perfect in his eyes. And until you sit on the other side and pretend to be God and look at your child like he's seeing them, you're going to feel like there's something wrong with your baby. Now, when you start accepting that he does not make any mistakes, he's going to start connecting you with the ways that you can, the tools that you need to improve his or her well-being, so that you can see the pluses that he or she has to make it, to shine in the community, because they are supposed to be a light. The
Yes,
difference is a light. It's not
yes,
something that should make you hide. They are amazing. And come back for the next meeting so that we can have some more fun together, and God bless you.
yes. God bless you all. Thank you so much. Thank you for all our participants for joining us tonight. We hope to see you pretty much soon. We're going to be sharing the next topic on our pages. We are on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube at The Autism Blue Minds. You can find us anytime. Thank you so much. Thank you, and until next time. Bye-bye.
Bye
Bye.
bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much for your time.
Alright.
Thank you, guys. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Mrs. Kawar. Thank you so
Yes.
much.
Absolutely. Pleasure meeting you.
Yes, I hope it's not
Okay.
the end.
Oh, no.
That's the
Oh, no.
beginning. Thank you
No,
so much.
we're holding on to Carol now.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
I'm gonna call her. I mean, I have her text, her number.
Yeah.
In touch. Thank
Yes.
you.
You
Thank
guys
you.
take care of yourself, but you have my number if you need anything.
Will
Sure.
do. Thank you so
Thank
much.
Okay.
you.
Take
Thank
care.
you.
Have a blessed
Bye-bye.
evening.
You
Bye-bye.
too. Bye-bye.
Bye
Bye-bye.
to our king, Global Africa.
The
And don't
king.
forget to pass on the message as promised.
I think he got disconnected.
Mhm.
Bye. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye, LA, Texas. Bye, Nadesh. Bye,
Bye,
Robin.
Marceline, Robin.
Yes. Bye. Bye, bye, everyone. See you next time. Thank you. Thank you for joining us tonight. Thank
All the way from Buffalo, New York.
Woohoo!
Oh, Buffalo, New York was in the place. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you. Hope to see you next time.
Oh, shucks. For sure.
Thank you. Please share our website,
Webpage.
theautismblueminds.org. to
And
Okay.
check it out
everyone.
frequently to see what's coming up next.
Yes.
Okay. Okay,
Thank,
thank you.
thank
Bye-bye.
you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Beautiful. Hello. Bye-bye, Marceline.
Bye.
Okay.
That sounds like someone else.
Yes.
They look sick.
I'm in the meeting. Bye, everyone. Bye, Flynn. Who else? Bye, Robin. Bye. All right, we're gonna end. Bye, Elise. Was a pleasure. Love you, girl. See you next time. Bye. Have a great night. Have all a blessed
Bye-bye.
night. Bye-bye.